Hello, and thank you for exploring Lakehead International's videos. My name is Jordan, and I am the International New and Social Media Officer. I'm also the host of the Lakehead International Live series, a fun and informative way for you to connect with current international students, professors, and ask questions about admissions and everything Lakehead. You are about to watch a recording from one of our previous live sessions. If any questions arise throughout the video, please do not hesitate to comment below. If you would like to check out some of our upcoming live sessions, please head over to our website at lakeheadu.ca/international-live. Let's begin. Hello and welcome to another Lakehead International Live. My name is Jordan. I'll be your host today. I'm joined by Hector and Dr. Robert Petrunia, and we are going to be chatting about economics. So we're going to do an in-depth session with economics. Essentially, we're going to talk a lot about the program structure, offerings, unique learning opportunities, success stories. We'll highlight alumni. We have lots to cover today, but before we do that, we'll each introduce ourselves and we'll have an opportunity to welcome the audience. And I want to thank you, the audience, for joining us, whether it's your morning, your afternoon, your evening. Thanks again. We're really excited to help you today. For those of you who haven't joined one of our Lakehead International live sessions, my name is Jordan Ball. I'm the International New and Social Media Officer. I help run our live events and our digital experiences. I do some of our digital marketing and social media advertising as well. I run the Global Ambassador Program here on the Thunder Bay campus. With that being said, I'll pass it over to Hector, my colleague in international enrollment, and he'll introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Hector Michelena, and I am one of the many international recruitment officers here at Lakehead University. My main role is to help prospective and future students like you find the right program here at Lakehead University and guide you through the applications and admissions process. And I'll pass it to Dr. Robert Petrunia.
Hi, I'm Robert Petrunia. I'm the chair in economics here. I'm representing economics. And so I guess my role is to help with questions regarding our various programs in economics.
Awesome. Thank you again for joining us, Robert, and thank you, Hector, for joining us, answering questions behind the scenes. We'll talk about sort of our housekeeping notes in just a second, but first I'll chat about our agenda and what we're going to cover today. First, we're going to chat about upcoming events, so other events in the Lakehead International Live series. We've had a few this week already, and we will continue to have multiple events each week until May, and then we'll do a transition over to our International Student Services team, but I'll give you more details about that in a timely manner. And then we'll do a brief overview of Lakehead University. We'll dive into economics, the program offerings, unique learning opportunities, success stories, career opportunities. And then, like I mentioned, we'll have an opportunity to hear from an outstanding alumni. And then at that point, we'll also open the floor for our open Q&A period where you can ask either Hector, myself, or questions about Lakehead University, Aurelia, Thunder Bay, all that sort of stuff. Or if you have program-specific questions, you can ask our special guest, Dr. Petrunia. And so on that note, I'll chat about our upcoming events. Within the Academics Explored series, similar to today's sessions, we have in-depth sessions coming up with nursing, psychology. So this next week on Wednesday, April 14th at 9 a.m., we'll have a session with nursing. Following that on April 21st, we'll have a session with psychology. And then at the end of this month, we are going to do a session about research at Lakehead. So we're going to chat all about the different research areas that we have. Maybe we'll get to meet some of our Canada research chairs, some of our current students participating in research. There's going to be lots to cover on that session, so I do hope you join. Coming up in the Lakehead Explored series, next Monday, April 12th at 9 a.m., we do have a session for getting involved and student life. So this is your perfect opportunity to get to know about all of the opportunities you have on campus to get involved, whether it's leadership opportunities, clubs and events that you can go to, or if it's simply heading out and getting into nature, doing recreational activities, or participating in athletic activities within our facilities here on campus. Following that, we have a session dedicated to residence and dining. It is not on the same day. It's not on Monday, April 12th. It's going to be on Monday, April 19th at 9 a.m. And then with that being said, we also have student supports, applying for your student visa, meeting your future student advisors, as well as my Journey to Lakehead student panel. There's plenty of sessions we're going to cover in the coming weeks and months, so I'm really excited to be hosting those. But without further ado, we'll chat about some of our housekeeping notes and reminders for today's webinar, pardon me. So if you like what you see, don't worry, we are recording today's session and we will send you the link for the recording afterwards. If you do have any questions, either for Hector, for Robert, for myself, you can simply send those in using Zoom's Q&A function, and we'll be happy to address those at some point throughout today's webinar. If you're watching this as a recording, you can always comment on that video and we'll be happy to get back to you as well. And last but not least, I want to encourage you to follow us and stay connected on social media. You can find us at Lakehead International, both on Facebook and Instagram. I post regular updates from the university as well as important announcements. And of course, if we have any major events, including webinars, I'm always posting about those. So if you want to stay updated about how to stay connected with us and learn more about Lakehead University, I encourage you to head over to those channels now and give us a follow. So on that note, I want to officially welcome you to Lakehead, and I want to give you a brief background of Lakehead University. Lakehead University is a public institution within Canada. More specifically, Ontario is the province we call home. We have two campuses. We have one in Thunder Bay and one in Orillia. Orillia is located in central Ontario, and we also have a partnership with Georgian College where we have a Barrie campus as well. Our Thunder Bay campus is located in northwestern Ontario, and between both campuses, we have over 8,500 students and 2,000 faculty and staff. We are a public university, and we are very proud of some of the recognitions we've achieved as a public university that's been operating for over 50 years strong. We have been recognized as the #1 undergraduate research university in Canada for 5 years in a row between 2015 to 2019. This year, we're #2 in Canada, which we're extremely proud of. And then we are also recognized as the top Canadian university under 10,000 students in the entire world. That's a ranking by Times Higher Education, Global Rankings 2021. We also were ranked quite highly in Times Higher Education's impact rankings. We are in the top 100 in the entire world for universities. With that being said, we also are recognized as being Canada's top 10 universities in the primarily undergraduate field by Maclean's magazine in 2020. So another proud moment for us to be recognized for our efforts and our achievements with our students, and also the services and supports that we put forward to ensure that we are recognized for being an outstanding university. With that being said, I would be remiss not to mention achieving those awards and achieving those credentials doesn't go without putting in the effort, and one of those efforts is having small class sizes. So on our Thunder Bay campus, for every 15 students, we have 1 professor. On our Orillia campus, for every 13 students, we have 1 professor. And we believe that those small class sizes both help students academically succeed and make stronger connections with their peers, their classmates, but also their professors. And that does tie directly to your employment after graduation. And so our employment at Lakehead University is 96.7% within 2 years of graduation. It's higher than the Ontario average as well as the Canadian average for public university graduates. So we're very proud to be recognized for having such strong connections with employers around the world, as well as in our local communities that are hiring our graduates consistently upon graduation. And given that we are on an international webinar today, I'd also be remiss not to mention that we do have over 70 nations represented in our student body, and we're very proud to have such a diverse student body coming from around the world. And hopefully one day you'll be able to join us here at Lakehead University and add to that number. With that being said, we'll chat a bit about academics at Lakehead, and I'll dive into first all of the faculties, all of the academic faculties we have here at Lakehead University. And then of course, we're going to dive into economics in just a moment here. So like I was saying, we do have 10 academic faculties. We have business administration, engineering, science and environmental studies, natural resources management, education, social sciences and humanities, health and behavioral sciences, law, medicine, and graduate studies. So all 10 of these faculties make up over 85 programs at Lakehead University. We have many majors, many minors, many disciplines, concentrations. There's a huge variety. And of course, I like to talk about the different faculties we have here is because if your focus is economics today, there's always that opportunity to potentially minor or specialize or concentrate in other study areas that may be offered directly through another faculty. And so we'll chat about that briefly, but today, again, we're going to focus on science and environmental studies and more specifically, economics. And so with that, I will pass over to Dr. Petrunia, who's going to chat a bit about the undergraduate programs we offer, the program structure, as well as our graduate programs.
Thank you, Jordan. So to start with, I'll just give a general overview of what we offer both at the undergraduate and graduate level. So at the undergraduate level, we have a couple of different options, both a BA degree and an honors Bachelor of Arts degree, 4-year to specialize in economics. And our other undergraduate option is that has focuses on economics, is a honors Bachelor of Science in Resource and Environmental Economics. So the distinction is more how specialized, certainly honors versus bachelor degree. The honors degrees are more specialized in economics. And then the honors Bachelor of Science, with the resource and environmental economic specialization there, it adds elements of environmental studies to it. We also offer joint undergraduate degrees, both economics and political science, both those with respect to that degree. There's a 3-year BA degree and a 4-year honors degree as well. And so that gives you aspects of economics and political science that combine nicely as a policy type degree, policy analysis type degree. Our other joint degree is an economics and mathematics 3-year undergraduate degree. A minor in economics is 3 full courses. That's an option, as Jordan mentioned, with other disciplines. And then we also offer a graduate program, graduate studies, and master's in economics. Flip to the next slide.
For sure.
Thank you. Some advantages of the program. Some things, first of all, there's, as Jordan mentioned, overall, there's small class sizes, and we certainly have small class sizes in the upper year classes. It allows some tailoring of the classes. It allows us as professors to get to know the students a lot better. We like that. It's somewhat of a family environment it creates. Other advantages include career prospects coming out. We provide an understanding of current affairs, policy analysis. We can understand what's going on in the economy, economic conditions, the outcomes. Provides a way of thinking, how to analyze problems, and as I mentioned, there's good career prospects, especially with a math level degree. Next slide, please. So more details about the undergraduate program, and specifically with respect to the first year, and I'll talk about some of the upper years as well. First year, you will take first year economics, principles of economics, that combines micro and macro. It's a 1-credit full year course, standard. The structure at first year tends to be very structured, regardless of the program you're in. It lays the foundation for what you'll study in upper years, in more in depth in classes, environmental economics, public finance, health economics, and other more focused areas of economic.
On that note, I was going to mention also that I understand that each year the course offerings, of course, you have your foundational courses and your courses that really make up your economics program, but then on a regular basis, the faculty and staff within the department are consistently renewing classes, or at least considering what is up and coming within your field of study, and you're offering new and specialized classes that really give our graduates and our students that leg up to understand the market in today's terms versus maybe historical terms, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, we try to do some tailoring based on student interest. You know, we're a small department, and so there's limitations there, but we try to offer a broad range of courses. Your second year, you're getting into more specialized, more focused on the micro and macroeconomic courses, and some statistics. And then going into the third and fourth year, that's where the breadth comes in. You're able to take a broad variety of different types of courses in different subtopic areas of economics. And those upper year courses, that's where you get a lot of focus in terms of both study and class size. They tend to be very small class sizes, certainly at the fourth year and even at the third year. And so not only tailoring with respect to options available, but also tailoring within the course. And I'm going to promise we can offer fully everything that you want. We can offer some choice out there.
For sure. And I think it's important to note with that being said, is that there's a critical analysis that the faculty goes through when determining what courses they're going to offer. Although, of course, there's passion courses that anyone might be interested in, but then whether or not it actually will be suited and give a student a leg up in their career hunt or even on that next stage to continuing education, there's that critical analysis that the team takes on as well to make sure that the foundational courses are being met and also are exciting for our students too. Yep. So with that being said, I know our next slide is for graduate students. So doing a Master's of Economics or Master's of Arts in Economics, pardon me.
Yeah, and I don't know, I see there's some questions, they tend to be tailored. There's a couple about the master's program and the question and answer. Maybe I'll ask those. I mean, this is really the one that, you know, this kind of, it's a 1 to 2 year program. You have some structure there on the courses you have to take. We allow some option courses as well. You basically have 6 core courses plus 2 option courses, and then you write an extended research paper. And this is really useful for going for career opportunities. Now, I'll just answer directly some of the questions that are in the question and answer related to this. Like how to apply for RA, TAs, graduate students. Well, it's really your application is an application for an RA position or a TA position. And then extending that to an RA position, well, it depends on what funding is available that the faculty has. There's tend to be limitations, especially for international students, okay, on the number of positions we have as TAs. How to get a co-op for an MA? Well, it's a standard co-op. You need a position. It's 2 terms of 4 months, work terms of 4 months, in addition to the in addition to your course study. You know, there's some it's not the easiest thing. The tough part about the co-op is what I'll say is that it's finding the position. So we have some connections, we have some placements out there, but there's limitations to that, and oftentimes you know, we have students find positions themselves, and that's often the best.
For sure. We actually I was lucky enough for one of my student employees in international enrollment to be doing her co-op with her Master's of Arts in Economics. So she's been doing data analysis on the digital marketing and social media side. So we've been really lucky to have her. She'll be wrapping up her part-time employment. So she's already wrapped up her co-op term with us, but she stayed on as a part-time employee with us, and she'll be wrapping up her degree in a few weeks here, essentially, which we'll be sad to see her go. But from what I've understood in her co-op and through her foundational courses within the economics program, and then being able to apply that knowledge and also look at a more career-focused data analysis instead of more of an academic-focused one, she said that it really gave her that advantage to now be able to critically consider, you know, a multitude of analysis in that realm and in her job role, of course. So it was great to have her, and she was just one student that we were able to have. And I know that some of her colleagues and other friends that have participated in that program have gone to other companies that are more traditional in an economic sense. You might not consider a role maybe in social media or marketing to have that focus of data analysis within economics, but She was a huge asset to our team, so we were very fortunate to have her. With co-op opportunities, for those of you who don't know, so I know that cooperative education is a term that's more familiar in North America and more specifically in Canada. Cooperative education is where students actually have a paid placement within their academic program. And so in this case, there's 2 4-month work terms essentially, where the student will apply for a co-op position or a position within a company that both connects their program, so their academic program of economics, and they can apply that knowledge in the position. So in our experience with Kelsey, who is our student, she was able to do the data analysis for us, which she was able to use her knowledge that she gained in her program and in her courses to do all the work that we needed her to. She got paid for that, which is great because then it also helped her with cost of living expenses, but also academic related expenses, whether it was tuition, books, that sort of stuff. And so it's a great opportunity for our students to get that paid work experience, and hopefully upon graduation, when it's on a resume and they can show, you know, I was able to apply my knowledge, I was able to do this academic placement, employers recognize that as a huge benefit. Robert, did you have anything to add to that, or the benefits of co-op?
No, that's great. It's the placement and then kind of getting out there and getting the work term experience. Like there's a question about balance of work and study. You're working, the co-op terms are not, you're not studying. So there is that balance there. You're supposed to be, it's isolated, right? You do your 8 months of coursework, then it's a 4-month work term, then it's study, then it's, so you're not, there's not overlap that way.
Exactly. And the reasoning behind that also is so that we ensure that the students are fully focused on the work term, because we want them to be as successful as they want to be successful. So hopefully there's the potential that maybe the co-op student could get land a full-time job, or in our case, a part-time job upon after the co-op term has ended. And so that's what happened with our student. And I'm sure other students in economics have seen the same thing happen, where maybe they're able to secure a full-time employment upon graduation with the same company, or maybe secure part-time employment until graduation.
There was a question about the types of courses related to philosophy and history of economic thought. In the MA program, yes, there's a history courses in the MA program. Again, we're limited in our size. We're a small department of 6 of us, but we do have somebody who does teach some history of economic thought. But yes, there is that. There's some other, and you are able to take economics courses if you're a major in another department. Elective courses, of course. The question, are there elective courses students from other departments can take from the program? Yes, there are. Again, it's a setup that there are prerequisites, and sometimes we can work around those prerequisites if you don't have them. Ideally, you would have them. Maybe, okay, so I think we can go to the next slide now.
For sure.
Yeah, I think. So the one experiential learning opportunity was this Governor's Challenge program. You can see we have happy students. Look at them. They're all smiling away there. What happened here is that this was a team of undergraduate students that competed and was reasonably successful in a competition ran by the Bank of Canada. The Bank of Canada is the monetary authority in Canada, sets the interest rate. And so this team had to present a recommendation for the policy relevant question: what should the interest rate be, and provide justification for that. And so this shows one of our advantages of having a small class sizes. We're able to bring the students along, provide education, and allow them to succeed in competitions like this, and provided a good experiential learning opportunity for these students because they were doing something that's done in the real world. So I'll leave that as there.
Certainly, I was just going to add in here is that this specific challenge in competing with other universities, essentially, we were up against 28 other universities, if I'm not mistaken. I might be slightly off on that number. I was just reading the article yesterday, but we were up against 28 other universities across Canada. And so those range from smaller universities, similar size universities, but also some of the biggest in Canada. And to be able to place so highly and be recognized as a smaller institution within Canada, but still have a name for ourselves, that goes to show that the delivery of our courses, the connections that our students are able to make, and also the resources that they're able to access while studying, goes to show you that essentially we can play with the bigger universities and we are top notch within our offerings. So on the note, I do want to jump back a little here to the co-op slide. Just briefly, I want to mention that for our students that are doing an MA in economics and are also considering the co-op option, when you go to apply for a co-op and when you're looking for a co-op opportunity, you also will need a co-op work permit for your studies. And so with that being said, we do have an in-house international immigration advisor. Her name is Jennifer, and she'll be happy to assist you in preparing all of the necessary documents and details to apply for that work permit and then get settled into securing that work permit so that you can move into your co-op successfully and in a timely manner. With that being said, though, we'll chat about career opportunities. So of course, the list on your screen is by no means an exhaustive list of the career opportunities that you could have upon graduating from economics at Lakehead University. But they are sort of a general list of the different options and the variety of options really of where you could go with it. So I'll read just a few of them, and then Robert, if you wanted to add to this, if you wanted to elaborate, I encourage you to do so. So our students could move into the banking industry. Of course, financial industry is a big one for economic students. They could be an economist. They could do policy analysis, whether it's for a government organization or for a private corporation. They could also do labor relations specialists. They could be an actuary, a foreign service officer, health policy planner. So in saying some of these, I'm sure you're starting to recognize that there's a lot of different fields that you can move into. You can go into the private corporation side, you can go into government work or the public side of work, but also there's different specializations. So if you have a passion for economics, but also you have a passion for the healthcare, the health policy planner might be a great career path that you might set foot on. And so with that being said, if you start to plan out or you start to consider, maybe you take a few elective courses that allow you to explore those passions and interests, it should help you prepare and better set yourself up to be knowledgeable for that career path that you're looking to go down. If you, of course, are interested in talking with one of the economics professors or Robert, the chair, to learn more about sort of what their recommendations are, I'm sure they'd be happy to meet with you sort of in your upper years and help you prepare for that journey so that they understand that in your final years, they're also helping you prep for that career ready field. Robert, did you have anything to add to the career opportunities slide?
No, this is great. No, I have nothing to add.
Okay, awesome. So next I'll pass it over to Hector, who's just gonna briefly cover one of our outstanding alumni from our past graduates.
Excellent, thank you, Jordan. So yes, Luan is one of our former students from our Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Political Science. He graduated in 2008 and received one of our outstanding alumni awards in 2015 after becoming the senior economist for the province of Ontario's Ministry of Finance. And in a past testimonial, Luan mentioned that the small class sizes at Lakehead University made the conventional gap between professor and students a lot smaller, allowing students easy access to hands-on knowledge and real-world experience learning. Being comfortable connecting with faculty members turned out to be a benefit for Luan in his career. And he mentioned on this testimonial that instead of being hesitant to approach others, he stood out as the person who was not afraid to engage with senior colleagues and benefited from their wealth of knowledge. This gives you an idea of what your Lakehead experience might look like if you end up joining one of our programs, and specifically that like the economics program for sure.
Awesome, thank you, Hector. I really like his last quote here, where he obviously mentions being able to interact with his professors and his peers and classmates. Really gave him that confidence to be able to then approach senior colleagues, as he mentioned, who of course have been in the industry, have been working in that field for quite some time now, and they are essentially that wealth of knowledge, whether it's someone that they could lean on and they could ask for assistance on something or seek guidance on, or potentially if that senior colleague is also looking for a junior economics graduate who is going to work on special projects with them. Making a name for yourself within a corporation is always something that we encourage. Networking opportunities are always something we encourage for all of our students across campus. So although you might be focused on only networking within the economics realm, we always encourage students to participate in any sort of career fairs, career events, networking events across campus, because you really don't recognize the variety of options and career paths, and also where economics graduates are hired. They're in all sorts of fields. They're not just in a traditional mindset. Maybe 20 years ago, they're mostly moving into a financial sector or within the realms of strictly economic roles, but that's really diversified in today's age. And so with that being said, we'll dive into questions here. I know I've seen both Hector and Robert answering questions behind the scenes, so thank you for that. I'll go through some of the questions I had marked that I was going to answer live. The first one is, are scholarships for international students incoming for the MA economics course available? So scholarships for graduate students are technically available through graduate assistantships. And we briefly covered this. So a graduate assistantship is a paid work experience for students to work directly with a professor in their department to assist them in what they're working on. And it is a paid opportunity, so it helps you pay some of your academic expenses or maybe some of your living expenses. With that being said, it's not a guaranteed opportunity for all students. There are only limited graduate assistantships available because there's limited funding, of course. And so when you apply to Lakehead University, your application to the program itself is essentially the application to be a GA. And so with that being said, you will also find out within your offer letter whether you've been asked to be a GA. If you haven't been asked to be a GA and you do need financial aid, there are options to have other financial awards such as scholarships, awards, and bursaries through Lakehead's My Awards portal. You'll have access to that once you become a student and you're eligible to register. You can explore that portal, see all the different scholarships. Typically, a vast majority of those scholarships are for returning students that are going into their upper years to make sure they can continue their studies. Nonetheless, I encourage you to still explore those opportunities. Another option, and I can't speak directly for economics, but for faculty research awards, faculty and departments will receive funding, whether it's from the government, whether it's from the federal government or the provincial government, maybe even a private donation or sponsorship. And we will use that to both hire students who can do part of research or participate in campaigns that different departments are running. And through that award or for that research funding, they can essentially apply that towards their tuition, living expenses, and that's also something available, but again, in limited opportunities. So if you have questions about that, I encourage you to reach out directly to your supervisor to learn more. Another question I wanted to answer was from Daniel. It says, are students who are offered admissions to study at Lakehead allowed to switch departments or courses? So technically, students can absolutely switch programs. It does vary on whether or not you have to apply again to that program or whether you are able to switch within the university. So some programs that are limited enrollment are going to ask for you to apply again, or if there's a certain admission requirements that you must satisfy again, you will be asked to apply. Other programs, in other cases, you can simply switch programs. And even some of the courses that maybe you completed in your first or second semester at Lakehead might apply towards your end degree goals, and you can apply those courses accordingly. I encourage you though, if you have the intentions of maybe switching programs halfway through, because maybe you weren't admitted into the first program you were interested in, please consider talking to one of our international recruitment advisors to discuss what that process looks like and whether or not we would recommend it. Again, I want to remind viewers that there are certain programs with limited enrollment or higher admission standards where an application would be required. So if you were initially denied in this round and you intend on switching halfway through, it might not be as simple as I've made it seem. So I just want to impress that upon our audience. So just going through here, I know that there's a few more questions. Another one from an anonymous student says, can I take courses from computer science program while being enrolled in Masters of Economics? So if you do have electives within your program, you certainly can take it from another faculty or another department, provided that there's no prerequisites for their course. So in this case, if there is a computer science course that doesn't have a prerequisite or doesn't require you to have a prerequisite, you may be eligible to take that course. Robert, would you be able to answer whether or not students in MA Economics do have electives and that those electives could be taken within another department?
We have had students take electives from other departments in the past. It really depends on whether they're willing, like the prerequisites, as you've mentioned, whether they're willing, if the student has a prerequisite or the department's willing to waive the prerequisite.
For sure. And so for students that might be interested in that opportunity, I encourage you to connect with the department chair. So in this case, if you're interested in taking a computer science course, you'll of course have to wait until the course timetable is published for the upcoming academic school year. Once it's published, you can certainly reach out to the department's chair. Potentially, you might have to connect with the dean of the faculty. You can also connect with the instructor or lecturer or professor that's teaching that course and ask whether or not the prerequisites could be waived, or if maybe your past work experience, past job experience, your past degree might be able to waive some of those prerequisites. So another question we have is, are students expected to join classes in person for fall 2021? What is the latest update? So we did have an update from our Vice Provost of Academics, David Barnett, and we have announced that we do intend on being primarily in person fall 2021. So this September, our hopes are to be in person primarily with our studies. With that being said, of course, we're still following public health guidelines from the federal government, from the provincial government. And Lakehead University's top of mind for us is the safety of our faculty, staff, and most importantly, our students. And so with that being said, provided that we can offer that in-person experience safely this fall, that is our intentions. If at any point we're not able to do that, we will not jeopardize anyone's safety to offer that. And so we are also exploring limited online opportunities for students that won't be able to join us. So we have a question about a median salary for MA Econ from Lakehead University. So it's a really tough question because there's such a wide variety of career opportunities and career paths. We don't have the statistics on what graduates get quite yet. Maybe in the future we might have statistics on what our graduates get, but what I encourage you to do is actually find one of those job titles. So on one of those previous slides where you can go back to see the job titles, if you recognize there's a certain job title that you're most interested in or a career path that you're most interested in, you can go online and you can simply search sort of typical salaries for economic graduates. Lakehead University, their degree and our degree does stand up. It's an internationally recognized degree, and so whether you graduate from one university or the other typically won't play too much into your hiring salary. It will simply be offered across the board. It's pretty generic in Canada, or pretty standard in Canada. So just going through the questions here. Looks like we've answered most of them. Is there any that Hector or Robert that you answered by typing that you also maybe wanted to share with the audience? I know that there was a few that had disappeared while I was going through there.
No, Jordan, I think we've done a pretty good job on answering everything live. And what I've been doing is just providing the links to some of the resources on our website, so students can actually find the information they're asking for and that we're giving them.
Yes, and with that being said, on our website, I get to luckily manage the website for international. And so if you head over to lakeheadu.ca/international, I would certainly be happy to see our students utilizing all of the resources that we have on there, whether it's chatting with a current student. If you are interested in Masters of Economics, we currently have a chat service, and we have our previous co-op student, her name is Kelsey, or on the platform you'll see it's Doyen Tran. You can chat directly with her and hear directly from her what her experience has been. So you can get a real example. She's from Vietnam, so if you're also from Vietnam or a similar country, you can chat about her experience and maybe what that change was like in moving from a similar location. We have students also from Ghana, Nigeria, India, Mexico, Guyana. There's China, there's a number of countries on there, so you can filter by program, level of study, country, and you can chat with tons of students that are current Lakehead students, and they're happy to share some of their insight about their Lakehead experience. So another question we have is, what is tuition fees for MA Economics for fall 2021-2022? So tuition fees have not been released for the upcoming academic year quite yet. What I encourage you to do is head over to our tuition fees website. So it's simply lakeheadu.ca/tuition. You can look at this past year's fees, so 2020 to 2021, and you can look at those fees. You can anticipate a very similar fee structure for the upcoming year. We do note, though, that there are typically slight increases on a yearly basis for our programs, and so please take that into consideration. If you have more specific questions, whether you're maybe applying for your student visa and you are doing the SDS stream where you do need to make your tuition payments, you can certainly make those payments based on this past year's tuition amount. And we know that our immigration officers will recognize that you paid the tuition with the most up-to-date information. If there is that nominal increase, and you do have to essentially add a smaller deposit to top up the tuition fund, you can certainly do that later on this summer before you start in September. And so with that being said, I'll move on to our next slide, where I just want to remind our viewers to follow us and stay connected. You can find us at Lakehead International both on Facebook and Instagram. We're also over on YouTube. Our main channel is Lakehead University. We have 2 playlists for our international students. One is simply Lakehead International. It's a place where you'll hear from fellow students, see their journey, hear about their experiences, all that sort of stuff, really explore the culture on our campus and within our towns, our hometowns. Another playlist is called the Lakehead International Lives playlist. And that playlist is, of course, where all of our webinar recordings end up after the fact. So today's session is being recorded. You may be watching this as a recording potentially, and thank you for that. But like I was saying, every session that we do record, we upload it to YouTube within a few business days after, so that you can watch it a second time, or potentially if you had to head out early, if you joined late, no worries. We have the whole session recorded and it will be there for you to watch at any point. One final reminder is that I certainly encourage you to take a virtual campus tour. So exploring Thunder Bay and Aurelia is really important. And I think once you get to see our facilities, the nature that surrounds us, the beautiful campuses we have, our residents, all that sort of stuff, you'll also be sold on Lakehead. And so you can head over to lakeheadu.ca/tours to either book a Zoom tour hosted by one of our student recruiters, or you can do a virtual campus tour that can happen at any time from the comfort of your own home as well. And so with that being said, before we go, I see that a few more questions have popped up, and so we'll answer those and then we will wrap up today's session. So here's a good question. This one I think might be best for Robert. It says, do students prefer pursuing job or research after the program? So Robert, in your experience, in working with graduates, do you typically see students move into another degree, continuing education, a research job, or research itself, or a more of a career or corporate type job?
So to be honest, both. So traditionally, we kind of, certainly at the graduate level, it's kind of the students first dip into more academic focus, more research focused, dip into the water there, and then they decide whether they want to continue on into a PhD program or not. Now that's less so now. Students are coming, they're graduating from their undergrad or master's program and going into the workforce. So it just depends. It's to answer your question, it's student specific. What does this student want coming out of the programs that we offer?
I was gonna say that I assumed as much, that it really essentially depends on what the student's passions and where their passions lie. So if they're ready to move right into the career field and they want to get a job, there are certainly opportunities out there. Or if they would like to move directly into research, if they've really grown passion for research, especially been able to hone that research within their program itself, there's opportunities in that case too. So thank you so much for joining us, Robert. Thank you, Hector, for helping me host today's session. Thank you to our audience for joining, whether it was your morning, afternoon, or evening. We are very appreciative of your time, and we hope today we're able to shed some light on the Lakehead advantages of studying economics here with us. And with that being said, I'll wrap it up for today, and hopefully we'll see you next Monday, April 12th, for our Getting Involved in Student Life webinar. Bye for now, folks.
Thank you for checking out today's video. If you have any questions, you can always comment below. Stay connected and follow us on our social media channels to stay informed about upcoming webinars and get an insider sneak peek of Lakehead University. See you next time.